Welcome to the Deucecast Extra. We are back, and man, we've got a lot more to talk about this week than I thought we were going to have to. We've got, everybody's in a different place. I don't really care. We've got, of course, we are going to get to What If episode 2. I had a lot of fun with the episode personally, so it's obviously the Star-Lord episode. So we will get to that, and that was a really great episode. But we had two pretty big trailers come out this week. Let's go ahead. Oh, well, first of all, introductions, of course. We've got Dr. Earl. Welcome back. How are you doing, Dr. Earl?
I'm now the Ravager Earl. I'm the medical officer on the Ravager.
That's right. That's right.
a what if reference for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I should just say, hello, how are you?
And then Garrison the Duck, I assume obviously that you're referencing Howard the Duck being in What If episode 2.
Yes.
Voiced by Seth Green.
Seth Green, exactly. Yep, from the movies as well.
Yep.
So consistency.
Obviously CinemaCon is going on right now, and it's big for that industry. I mean, it's all the critics go attend this CinemaCon thing, and one thing that I didn't take the time to do, which we probably could have done, is all the news and all the stuff coming out of it. I mean, today alone, we had the Matrix Resurrections trailer that they got to see. The public hasn't got to see it yet, but the critics got to see the trailer for the fourth Matrix film, and there was some excitement. There was quite a bit of excitement. Apparently, they got to see some footage from the Batman as well. I don't know if it was a new trailer.
Apparently, they showed a sizzle reel, which had a tiny amount of new footage, and then showed the old trailer. So,
so there's that. But earlier in the week, Marvel's Eternals dropped what they're calling their final trailer.
Yes.
And I believe that's probably accurate.
As long as the movie comes out November 5th, yes. Yeah.
As long as, and already today, I'm seeing if Shang-Chi does not do well at the box office, Eternals could get pushed.
Bumped again.
Yeah, I don't know. I think,
honestly, I could see Eternals doing worse at the box office than Shang-Chi.
Oh, no, I definitely can see that. So that's why they might push it. I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
I think Shang-Chi will do okay, though.
I think it will.
I do, too. It's getting really good reviews.
Yeah, it's at what, like 93% on Rotten Tomatoes?
I haven't checked lately, but it's in the 90s.
Yeah, it was in the 90s for a while. So, I'm with you, Roth. I mean, today, Venom got bumped again to January. So, I mean, I am like way over.
I'm okay with that.
Well, I said the exact same thing. Not only does that delay Venom 2 further, which I'm totally okay with, it bumped Morbius further as well.
Yeah.
Keep bumping those things down the line. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, as far as this is concerned, Roth, I mean, China barely accepts movies anymore from the United States.
Wait, which movie's going to kill in China? Is he talking about
Shang-Chi?
Oh, yes.
As long as it gets a release.
Exactly.
Here's the thing about China. They have kind of this period every year where they want to just only have Chinese films. Mm-hmm. And so they did it for like all of July, which is what they typically do. So July is kind of like a shutoff point. But then they extended that into August, which they were already kind of rumors of that happening. And now Free Guy is finally opening up over there in 4 days. So I feel like Shang-Chi opens up there. I do feel like it does, but it's probably going to be a delayed release. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But Eternals is not going to go over there because Chloe Zhao.
Chloe Zhao.
Her movies.
Yeah, and that's a shame. I mean, because I think that it deserves to be seen by people over there. Because I think just from the trailer alone, I'll say what I liked about the trailer. I mean, just as Eternals. Eternals. Just as with every one of her films, I think it looks beautiful. The cinematography looks amazing. It looks like she's doing the best that she can to have as much practical, shots, not too much CG, but obviously there will be some. I mean, we saw some of it in the trailer. I personally do not know anything about the Eternals. I don't know about the characters. I know, was it Steve Ditko or Kirby or who?
Jack Kirby.
Jack Kirby. Yeah. See, exactly. I don't know anything about it. But they're gods that basically watch over everything in a
Well,
way?
Not exactly.
Go ahead, Earl, because I don't know anything about it.
We did get some answers in this trailer.
Not exactly. Yeah. So there's these the Celestials, right?
Right.
Are these beings that are these massive, and I don't know a lot about them, but there's some people saying that maybe the Eternals are more like sort of these almost created beings by the Celestials, almost like a computer-like thing.
Oh,
technologically created to sort of watch over a world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, I don't know if that's comic book accurate. Somebody said this in a thing that I'd never thought about, that there's a scene where it looks like Selma Hayek is her character, Ajax, is coming online when they put this thing in her neck. And like,
interesting. Oh,
but again, it may not be like true computers. It may be more like they're just demigods that are being created by the over gods or whatever you call them. I don't know.
That's very interesting. Yeah,
I kind of agree with Roth. I'm actually a little excited about it. I know, Michael, you didn't really do much for you.
I mean, it's still, like I said, it looks great, but I'm still not feeling much of a connection to any of the characters. I thought they did a good job with this trailer of having a bit more humor in it.
Yeah.
So that helped, but I still have zero connection because I'm not like a huge fan of any one of these individual actors. I think Richard Madden's good. I mean, but I just, I don't have much of a connection with many of the actors.
No, that's fair.
I'm interested to see what they do with Richard Madden, Kit Harington, and Don Lee is his Americanized name, I guess. But he's a South Korean actor who's playing Gilgamesh in the film.
Yeah.
I like that they gave us an answer as to why they didn't interfere with the events that happened previously. I will say that I was totally fine with that not being in the trailer. I just expected them to answer it in the movie quickly, and I guess instead they put it in the trailer. They heard the criticism and put it out there. So I thought the trailer was fine. It certainly was overshadowed by something we'll talk about next. I'll just say that in my personal view.
Oh no, I totally agree with you. Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to downplay Eternals. I think that there's a reason they made the movie. I'm sure it will have overreaching implications.
Yes.
Possibly.
It's a new corner of the MCU we've never seen before, and so there's exciting possibilities.
Yeah, exciting possibilities. I don't know if they're trying to have Eternals 2, Eternals 3. This could just be a standalone. I mean, this could simply be a way for them to introduce Black Knight. He could be, he could be super important to the MCU in general. I mean, that character,
Icarus, could be super important,
right? Yeah.
So it is interesting that like the Snap somehow released the deviants to come to Earth. I guess that's the thing they're talking about in the beginning.
Yep.
No, I don't know. I don't think Roth's asking a good question.
It caused some event to I guess awake the deviants or bring the deviants. I don't know, but
I'm not sure about that, Roth. That's a good.
Ego is a celestial.
Yeah, but to Earl's point, these might be creations of the Celestials. So these might not be actual Celestials. The Eternals might not be actual Celestials. The Celestials could have created them.
No, the Eternals aren't Celestials.
They aren't. Okay. We've seen what Celestials look like. In fact, in the trailer, they show a big shot of one of the Celestials with his, 6 big little slot.
Oh, that was a Celestial? I thought that was a Deviant. Okay, that was a Celestial.
Deviants were the robots to me, which is kind of weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Deviants are the things they're fighting on Earth, not the giant space people.
That giant thing with the six eyes or whatever.
Yeah,
that's a Celestial.
Interesting. Yes. Okay, so the Celestials aren't necessarily good or bad. They're just sort of there. I mean,
they're probably just sort of godlike. I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I think that's good for the Eternals. Or I'm sorry, Marvel's Eternals. We can't say the Eternals. Yeah,
it used to be the Eternals.
It used to be.
Now it's
exactly
Eternals.
For me though, the trailer that was much more fun and I was much more looking forward to was Spider-Man: No Way Home, and we're going to attempt something that we actually haven't done before on the Deucecast Extra. I've got a bunch of screenshots, and we're sort of actually just going to go through the trailer and discuss some of the things that we saw in the trailer. So the first thing I will pull up is kind of the opening shot here. And sorry, the way StreamYard works, you won't get to see our beautiful faces while we're talking about the trailer. But the opening shot is, Peter and MJ, Mary Jane, just sort of sitting on the top of a roof having an existential discussion. Yeah, what's she reading there?
She's reading the New York Post. I thought that was interesting because it wasn't the Daily Bugle, and I guess because Daily Bugle is a website now in the MCU.
Oh, that makes sense. So it's sort of like TMZ. It's like the equivalent of TMZ.
It's supposed to be like InfoWars, but yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, because... and we'll move to this next shot. I mean, they have like a very TMZ look. Public enemy number one. I mean, Peter Parker is public enemy. So obviously, I mean, if you don't recall what happened in the events of the second Spider-Man film, J. Jonah Jameson outed Peter Parker with a video sent to him by Mysterio. There's too many M names in the MCU, by the way.
Confused with Magneto.
Or Mephisto or Mobius.
And Morbius.
Morbius. There's too many M names. There's way too many. The thing I liked about the beginning of this trailer is we see
they didn't shy away from the thing that they set up in the last movie, and that was the revelation of his identity to the public. And that's something that's greatly damaging to Spider-Man as a character. It's why they shy away from that kind of thing in the comics, because every time it happens, they have to have some major event to make it go away.
Yeah.
I think it takes away from the character a little bit, but I like that they showed how much it's not just affecting him, but it's affecting his family members and his friends. They're getting pulled into the police department. And instead of him going, I've got to fix this because it's my identity out in the open, it's I've got to fix this because I'm putting others in danger because my identity is out in the open.
They're going to come after them.
Yes.
Totally. And then, I mean, we even show some of this where he is getting interrogated. Now, the guy that's facing the interrogation room, he had, and I didn't get this particular screenshot, but he has a logo of that company that was doing a lot of the cleanup in the first Spider-Man film. So the one that Michael Keaton's character worked for, that was doing the cleanup from all of the disaster that happened in the Avengers. He had that jacket on that had that same logo, and I should have grabbed that screenshot. I just didn't get a chance to. But so this guy, the guy next to him,
in the white,
allegedly, and that totally could be Matt Murdock. Peter Parker's lawyer.
When I saw the hand slam down on the desk, which I don't know if you had the screenshot of that, but
I missed that one now.
That's when I went, is that Matt Murdock? Because he's coming in the interrogation room. It could be his lawyer coming in to advise him.
Right.
I'm totally down if that is Matt Murdock, and I don't expect him to be in the movie for very long, but I'd love for him to just be the lawyer in the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, to me, it does look like he's wearing glasses in this kind of like the way his face is shaped, and we're going really deep here, but it does look like he's kind of wearing, glasses, which to me, again, is an indicator that that's Matt Murdock. But anyways, and, we alluded to the fact that everybody around him is being affected. I mean, the public, Ned's being affected. The public is, or at least there's some people in the public that devil in disguise. They're on Mysterio's side, that type of thing.
And I've seen a lot of people be like, why has the public turned on Spider-Man so fast? And my answer to that is, I guess, if you read some of the Spider-Man comics, the public is very quick to turn on Spider-Man in the comics. If something like this happens. And the way he's being portrayed in the media is that he's the villain. Mysterio was the triumphant hero who was killed by Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's not that big a name to some of these people. A lot of his exploits happen in space for half of his MCU career.
Right, exactly. This next one I got just because it was just a cool looking shot. Obviously,
that's a helicopter shot.
That's a really cool
helicopter shot up on a building. I mean, it looks really awesome.
I'm sure
that's a little bit
CG, but
yeah, you're going to get a lot of that. In fact, I've got another screenshot that he's wearing a lot of different suits in this movie.
Yes, this is his Far From Home suit with like a little bit removed from it for some reason, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the same thing.
Yeah,
that is his end of Far From Home suit. I'll just say that.
Yeah, and another shot that I pulled just because it just shows, people in the school filming him. Then you've got here in the right hand corner, you've got Betty Brant on the TV there as a reporter from City Hall or wherever she is.
Very
so
nice
she's out. She's got a job out in the public now, which is interesting because Peter Parker, because he was part of the Snap, is still in school.
Well, the scene before this one where they're walking, I guess, towards maybe a courthouse or whatever.
Yeah.
With Peter and MJ holding hands. Flash is behind them.
Oh, okay.
And he's dyed his hair blonde.
Really?
Interesting.
Yes. Which I think
watch that.
Is Flash not blonde in the comics?
He is. Yeah.
He is.
Flash Thompson's always been portrayed. Yeah.
I like that.
Way.
I like that nod.
No, I totally do too. I thought it was cool. This one I just wanted to show because Aunt May is being sort of interrogated also. It's a good shot of her. You can tell she's in an interrogation room though. So like we said, everybody's being affected by this stuff.
Yes.
There's a scene where Peter is sort of, bummed out and he's looking up at these witches that look like Doctor Strange. And so it sort of gives him... Yeah, it gives him, and so that's another thing. This sort of indicates to us that this might be taking place during Halloween. So the movie.
Well, part of it takes place during Halloween, and I know for a fact part of it takes place during Christmas.
Oh, okay, cool. That's right. This is exactly right. Hot at me. Exactly. The next one is, because the very next shot, at least in the trailer, the way it was edited, shows him going to the Sanctum Sanctorum to see Doctor Strange, and it's frozen. It's frozen inside. I'm sure we'll get some explanation of that.
Yeah, we'll get the reason.
But I thought that was interesting.
I'm wondering
this next shot, the mug, and I didn't zoom in on for Fox's sake is what the mug
is that what it says?
Yes, exactly. And you can tell that Doctor Strange is trying to keep warm. He's not a happy camper right now. I mean, he's it's crazy.
His, med school. I like his sweatshirt. I'm trying to figure out what school it is.
He's Columbia University.
Yeah.
So they tweeted about it today.
That makes sense. Okay, so the other shot that I grabbed is a really blurry shot of him in the black Spider-Man suit.
Yes, this is the black and gold Spider-Man suit. So this is not Venom. This is not Symbiote. This is, from what we can tell from the toys, mixed with Doctor Strange's magic in some way.
Yeah.
Is that actually Peter Parker though, right there? Who is that?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can tell it is. I mean,
you can see it in the scene. His face goes towards the camera. So
the other reason I grabbed this shot in the cafeteria is there's another shot in the trailer that maybe shows this logo, and Feast is a big deal in the Marvel universe. It stands for Food Emergency Aid Shelter and Training. Now, why it's a big deal is that Martin Lee is the guy that runs it, and it's a front for the White Dragons Gang, which is a villainous organization, mostly in the Spider-Man universe.
Now, let me just say that Feast became very popular through the 2018 video game. It's a more recent comic creation, but it became really popular through the 2018 video game. So, and then also, I mean, Martin Lee also is a villain by the name of Mr. Negative, who, from the pictures that I have seen, has some lightning type effects in and around him. Yeah, so, but
I don't think that's
Mr. Negative.
No.
Yeah, it's like Mr. Negative, exactly. Which Rhett's not even here to defend himself. How dare you, Earl? The next scene I wanted to show, of course, is Wong saying,
Yes,
do not cast that spell. Do not do. And let's talk about, like, when did Doctor Strange just become the guy that was willing to do whatever? He used to be like so by the book.
Well, no.
He kind of did.
No.
I mean,
watch his solo movie again.
Well,
I mean, look.
Okay. Well, yeah, no. His origin story,
but people got a really interesting version of Doctor Strange in Infinity War and Endgame, and that was one of more by the book, more.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
more like
recently.
We have to stick to the plan.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm referring to.
He's this may be out of character for him, but he is a very arrogant and when Wong tells him he can't do something, he will try to do it. That is in character of what Doctor Strange is in the comics, but yeah.
Roth, I think that's what's going on. I think he is still
acting tonight. Yes,
he is probably acting.
Popping
tonight.
In soon, hopefully.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, we'll be here now.
He's trying to get to the.
And this does allude to the fact, and I guess we forgot to talk about it. Peter is going to Doctor Strange because he wants to try and make everyone forget what happened.
Yes.
Now,
this is a comic storyline.
Yes.
Really?
Now,
sort of.
When it gets right down to it, though, when Doctor Strange is starting to do the spell to make everyone forget, he starts spouting names off. Well, wait a minute. Now I want, Aunt May to remember. I want MJ to. He wants everybody. He wants Ned to remember. And Strange is getting pretty ticked off of it at him as he's trying to do the spell, and he's getting distracted by Peter doing the spell.
Well, there's two really interesting storylines I think kind of combined here.
Yeah.
One More Day is the storyline of Aunt May dying, and Peter goes to Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange refuses to help, and Peter then tries to use a spell and messes up and hurts himself. But then after that, he goes to Mephisto and makes a deal to bring back Aunt May. But bringing back Aunt May means that he loses his to bring back Aunt May and get rid of his identity from the public. But doing that means he loses his relationship with MJ in the comics.
Yeah.
The second storyline is Happy Birthday, which is also Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. Around the same time. This is before One More Day. And they're fighting Dormammu. Peter screws up a spell, and Peter gets sent to back in time and has to relive his past events to get back to the present day to save MJ.
Okay. That's crazy.
Or maybe past events in a Sam Raimi movie.
Ooh, maybe. Now, once the spell is cast, we see all kinds of crazy lights flashing, but we also see the multiverse light. I mean, this obviously looks very much like one of the strands that we see in Loki. Just showing us the different multiverse strands.
Could be.
And we go straight into some craziness, more mirror dimension stuff.
Yep.
This reminded me of Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah. And it's intentionally doing that, obviously. I mean, we're seeing a lot of that. So then we get a really quick montage.
This is when we first hear the word multiverse, by the way, in the trailer.
Yes. We heard, during this whole discussion that we hear Doctor Strange giving to Peter. We start seeing some interesting things. This right here.
Yes. Electricity.
Very much could be Electro. We've got some electricity spiking there. You've got the Daily Bugle van hanging out.
New York 1.
Yep, exactly.
I blame Peter Parker for it.
So we got some interesting stuff going on there. And it flips back real quick to Doctor Strange on a train doing some cool stuff. Really cool looking scene there.
Whoa!
We get this cool shot.
That's awesome.
He's basically lecturing Peter that he's been two people too long or something. He says something along those lines, right?
Yeah, he's saying that the longer you try to live two lives, the more dangerous it will be for you.
Yeah, I agree with Jake.
That
did look awesome.
What about the box? What do you think that is?
Oh, I just noticed that. Oh.
So there's been a lot of speculation that
and Peter's grabbing that, or he's got that. Okay.
There's been a lot of speculation that Strange locks up some of these people that seep through the multiverse.
What's in the box?
And that Peter is disagrees with him on how to handle that. So that could potentially be the prison. That's the speculation.
And so so Doctor Strange versus Spider-Man in this case. Interesting. Okay. And then we get a cool shot of the Iron Spider suit back again.
That's from what, Endgame or Infinity War?
Yes. Yeah. That actually is the one from Infinity War and Endgame.
Yep. There's
actually a different one, I think, later on in the trailer.
Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't get a screenshot of that one. My bad.
Yeah. Okay. I got the toy.
Okay. I wanted to grab this. We see Happy Hogan hanging out.
Happy's gonna get killed.
Happy Hogan.
No, don't say that. I don't want Happy to die. Then we get there's better shots of this, but the one that I grabbed, it's almost impossible to see. But this is supposedly Lizard.
Yes.
Back in the background there, very hard to see. Really bad shot.
Lizard, and he hits a Doctor Strange force field, which again alludes to the fact that they're potentially trapped in a prison.
So we're talking Sinister Six.
Oh yeah. 100%. I mean, because then we got Electro.
This is Electro again, plus
Sandman. Yeah, basically. I mean, we think it's Sandman. So loving that, and then obviously we get the Green Goblin bomb,
and the Willem Dafoe laugh.
Oh man.
And by the way, Variety pretty much just put in their article that it was Willem Dafoe. So,
yeah. I mean, and he has said as much in interviews.
Oh yeah, we know Dafoe's going to be in this.
Yeah, and this guy who spoiled it a long time ago, Alfred Molina's back.
Hello, Peter.
Doc
he just sort of guaranteed himself to be in the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. So
if I spoil it, I'll get in the trailer.
Yes.
Really great, long, what they're calling a teaser.
Yes,
really long teaser.
Let me show you the new suit. So I think it's the one he puts on when he is on the car. If you see this, there's a gold emblem for the spider.
Oh, that's cool.
The Infinity War suit has like a blue one, outlined by gold.
Okay.
So I don't know where he got the new suit from, but yeah.
Oh, okay, and sorry, I was having to go a bunch of different places, so I didn't see this comment from Fatmatic. Aunt May is not available for killing. I think he's just saying that like he doesn't want her to die. Yes. I think that's what Fatmatic's saying there. But yeah, I mean, everybody's expendable.
Look, we can say that's not a teaser, and I agree in the sense that a teaser should probably not be 3 minutes long. But there is absolutely so much more happening in this movie. First off, we already know some of the more things. Well, we already think we know some of the more. We already think we know some of the more things that are happening. And Tom Holland this morning posted a video on his Instagram saying there is so much more. This is just the tip of the iceberg, is literally the quote from Tom Holland this morning.
I'm ready for
it. Yeah, dude. I am so ready for that movie. I hope that somehow that still comes out in December. Which, man, I mean, I'll say this. Sony is taking a hard stance against stuff not being theatrical, like stuff going to streaming and theatrical.
I agree with the stance, but also Sony doesn't have a streaming service.
No, they used to. They sold it to Chicken Soup for the Soul.
For the Soul.
Yeah, exactly. They had Crackle and sold
probably
it all
not the best
off,
place to premiere Spider-Man.
No.
I mean, they are making some pretty good money on selling stuff to streaming services, but it's a shame. I mean, that they're having to feel like they need to do that. But I agree with them too. I'd rather stuff just be in theaters. But
the good news is they've made deals with Netflix to get first look. Basically, Netflix gets the films first, and then after that, Disney Plus gets the films. But yeah, I don't want to say I want Sony to have a streaming service because there's already too many streaming services.
Yeah, it is. I agree. I mean,
Disney's got 3 right now. Come on, let's consolidate those.
Well, I think the first consolidation that I think we'll probably see is Paramount Plus and getting, I don't know if they're going to be around much longer. It just feels, I don't know. It just feels that
don't you think
service
Disney wanted to buy Spider-Man all the way so they could release?
Oh, they do still. I mean, there's still rumors of them wanting to buy that property, but
Sony's asking price for that character and his characters are ridiculous. Is ridiculous, I'm sure. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, overall, yeah, Crackle's a joke. Oh, Roth. In regards to what you talked about, let's talk in the Discord about that fantasy football league.
And the thing is, for Marvel, at least when Sony was backing out. So for Homecoming and Far From Home, Marvel and Sony split box office. Sony got 95%, Marvel got 5%. I believe Sony paid. I believe the way it is agreed is Sony pays for 95%, Marvel pays for 5%. So that's when those negotiations happened where Marvel started saying, we'll pay for a lot bigger percentage and get a lot bigger percentage back because we're not really making a ton of money doing this while we're literally giving you the stories for these films. And that's how that fight kind of happened. But
yeah.
Anyway,
that's interesting.
I loved the trailer.
Marvel's going to make a lot of money off of merch, though. I'll just say that.
I think so too. I think that Spider-Man is much more popular to younger kids than people realize.
I saw a chart today that had like all the superheroes and like all the, Marvel, DC, but then broken down by superhero as to how the merch sells. Spider-Man is number one far and away. DC, Marvel, it does not matter. Domestically, worldwide, it doesn't matter. Spider-Man is number one. I think number two was Batman, but Batman is so much smaller. I mean, it still sells really well. It's still I'd want that, $400 million or whatever. But Spider-Man's like $1 billion and something. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, there's your indicator right there that Sony's never going to sell that IP.
No,
I mean, unless the main company in Japan sells Sony Pictures or something like that.
But that's the thing is Marvel makes the merch money.
So
Disney gets the merch money.
Oh, I didn't know.
Which is probably why people don't feel that bad for them on the box office.
No, that's true. I didn't realize Sony doesn't get a cut at all of the merch money.
They may get some, but I'm pretty sure Marvel gets the merch money, most of it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, man. Well, let's talk about, unless you guys have anything else to talk about on the trailer, we can jump into episode 2 of What If.
I'm hoping those people show up in the next trailer. That's my hope.
All the people that you're thinking about should show up in the next trailer.
Let's just keep it for the movie. Why do we need?
I've had a discussion with a lot of people who are the general public, and they want to see like those guys before they go see the movie. So I get it because they don't want to pay for something where they're not in it. I get it, Earl. I get it.
Earl's old school. He wants a little bit left to the imagination.
Yeah, I don't like these long trailers.
Well, no, and this to call this a teaser is a bit laughable, but it is what it is. I mean, it's full blown. Do you think the plan all along was to release it, and they just got bum rushed by that crazy thing that happened the day before?
Yes, their plan all along was to release it CinemaCon at the same time. And they literally, an unfortunate leak happened with a guy who got it from a VFX person and he sent it to someone else that he thought he could trust. And then that person spread it like wildfire.
Trust no one. That's what you trust no one is basically what that means. But yeah, I mean, and I love the, and I don't know if it was intentional, but that scene in WandaVision where they're looking at the calendar and it's got August 23rd. Or 24th, I mean, or whatever.
It was 23rd.
Oh, was it the 23rd? So
yeah, Spider-Man trailer came out last night. So
that's right. We're the day after. So yeah, the 23rd. These days run together.
Obviously not intentional, but there's actually something interesting to this. Before we get into What If, there's actually something interesting about that I never noticed. The calendar is set up for 2023, which is the main continuity of the Avengers timeline. It doesn't say 2023 on there, but if you look up the 2023 calendar,
interesting,
the days line up.
Oh,
so, yeah. So I like that detail. I never noticed that when we watched.
That is some deep detail that very few people would probably catch.
Deep detail.
That's like some super deep detail. So that's pretty awesome. Well, I mean, depending on when other trailers come out and stuff, we will definitely talk about as many, Marvel, DC trailers, and if there's some cool trailers, we'll keep using this particular show to talk about trailers and stuff that happen to come out, because this is one that we definitely release weekly live, and so it's a little bit easier for us to talk about trailers on this show. But let's talk about What If episode 2. Really fun episode. Obviously, this was
a lot going on.
What if T'Challa became Star-Lord? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cha-cha.
Yes.
So I have seen the episode twice. First time, I keep staying up till 2 a.m. and I need to stop doing that. I was half asleep when I watched it the first time, so I did watch it again today and caught a few, things that I had missed before. A couple comments. I thought that it was strange that they went so deep as to have Sean Gunn voice his character again, but didn't have Dave Bautista voice Drax. Thought that was weird.
It's interesting because there was some controversy about that before the show. Where Bautista said he wasn't reached out to, but then the director of the show said it was his understanding that literally everyone was reached out to. So who knows who's telling the truth? Some miscommunication there. Maybe Bautista's Bautista's agent was called and they felt insulted, and I don't know, but
right, exactly.
It wasn't a very big part anyway.
No, but neither was Sean. Although Sean Gunn's character was in it more than I thought he would be. But I mean,
he's a Ravager.
He's a Ravager. Yeah,
Ravager's got a role, baby.
Exactly. So
where was John Anderson?
I know. Why did John Anderson not get to voice his character?
Friend of the show, John Anderson.
Yeah, exactly, Roth. The email got sent to spam by accident. That's exactly right. So, Dr. Earl, what's some of the stuff that you liked about this particular episode?
I mean, I liked being back in that Guardians world again.
Yeah.
I think I liked Korath, Jimon Hudsu's character being sort of this
like a fanboy almost.
That was kind of fun.
Very different turn. Yeah.
I liked the Collector. I like Benicio del Toro, dude.
He's so good.
He's always good.
Yeah.
I like that he was more kind of sinister in this, I guess, a little bit.
Oh yeah, he was like a villain.
The Howard the Duck cameo was great, and just some of the sort of nods and throwbacks to Guardians of the Galaxy as you looked around that, sort of.
Yeah.
I won't go over some of the things I did. Well, there were some things I didn't like, but I'll go over those in a minute.
Okay.
Garrison, what about you?
The episode was kind of silly, but
yeah, it was.
But I have a feeling a lot of these episodes are going to kind of be that way. Things I really liked. First off, voice acting wise, for some people who don't do a lot of voice acting, Chadwick Boseman was really pretty good.
Yeah,
but Karen Gillan, in my opinion, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
I thought she was fantastic at voice acting.
I agree.
I liked the connection to the Thor: The Dark World post-credit scene. If you guys remember that post-credit scene.
Wait, there's a post-credit scene?
No, in Thor: The Dark World.
Thor: The Dark World. If you remember that post-credit scene, it is the Collector getting the ether, so the Reality Stone, and he accepts it from the Asgardians, and he goes, 1 down, 5 to go.
Right.
So that introduces the idea of the Collector wanting to be that guy, be the guy who has the gauntlet with all those stones.
He wants to collect them all.
And instead, Thanos is not there, like he says, and so someone else fills the void, and it's the Collector. It makes perfect sense in the timeline of the MCU. The Thanos thing is kind of silly. I'm fine with it.
I didn't care for that.
Here's what I liked about this episode, especially. I guess, I did write it down. Okay. The one thing I really liked about this episode is that it was classic kind of what if. A bunch of great things happened. The universe was better because T'Challa was Star-Lord, except for the ending of the episode.
Yeah.
A lot of people have glossed over the ending of the episode,
right?
But it pretty much establishes that yes, T'Challa was a better Star-Lord and made the universe better at the time, but because of that, because Peter Quill was stuck working at Dairy Queen, the world and the universe is probably going to end due to ego.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
Ego has
interesting point. I guess I hadn't thought that. Yeah.
Yeah, ego has no good intentions whatsoever. So I mean, hey,
the
what's
Watcher
up?
was kind of like,
Nick got here. What's up, Nick?
What's up? Yeah, and the Watcher was pretty much like, that's a story for another day. It's like,
that's a story for another day. Exactly.
The Earth is going to get destroyed because no one's there to stop ego.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Based upon, so why was Rocket not around? I guess.
Well, we didn't see Rocket or Groot, and they travel together. So
okay, well that makes sense.
They're just out and about somewhere.
Yeah,
they're off doing something else.
They're just doing jobs somewhere else. Maybe they're in a prison, and trying to escape.
In another episode too.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, that's true. That's true. We could get them in another episode. I mean, there's going to be, in total, at least we know 18 of these things between the two seasons. So yeah, I mean, they could easily and will probably show up at some point. Yeah, I mean, overall, I agree with everything both of you guys said. I had a lot of fun with this one, but it also didn't feel necessarily as important. Now, I don't think any of these are going to be important because, Garrison thinks it's important, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if any of these are going to have much consequence to the MCU in general, but they could. They could. What am I missing as far as importance is concerned?
Well, first off, if Chadwick had not died, since there are rumors of Captain Carter coming to the MCU, I absolutely think they would have used this Chadwick character a little bit in this multiverse saga they're building right now.
Yeah.
But later in the season, I do think this character is going to be important. We've been told he's in 4 episodes.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Chadwick is. Wow.
Yes. And I have a feeling, I think I know what the last episode is, but I'm not going to tell people because
we'll talk about it,
I want that to be I want people to be surprised because I think I know what's going to happen just based on the trailers we've gotten. But
now he's not in 4 episodes as Star-Lord though, is he? Or
he's at least, I'm pretty confident he's at least in 2. I'm pretty confident he's at least in 2 episodes as Star-Lord.
They're all going to converge at some point, right?
Like, that is my opinion. Based on the trailers, they're all going to get pulled towards. There's a threat, and the Watcher's going to pull them into something.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, because didn't he say that he just watches, but then alluded to maybe time?
He said at the beginning of the episode, "I can never interfere," which means that's going to have to come up at some point.
That's the age-old.
He does in the comics. He does interfere. So
yeah. Okay, so this is a good question from Roth.
I have heard from the media that the 3rd episode will show you that it does not.
You can't trust the media, Garrison.
Well, if Spider-Man Far From Home has taught me nothing, or No Way Home as well, you can't trust the media. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of them happening in different multiverses. I mean, and not necessarily. I mean, because we're obviously going to get. Well, we'll talk. I mean, I saw a screenshot of Black Widow in the next episode, but we know ScarJo does not voice this Black Widow, does she?
No, she doesn't.
No,
she's one of the few not returning actors. I think they said 85% of the cast is returning actors, and the rest are voice actors, which I'm actually okay with.
Sure. Yeah. No, I have no problem with that at all.
It's fine. It's fine.
I liked that the dog was a part of the episode again as well.
I liked that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cosmo or whatever his name is.
From
Russian.
Because he showed up at he went with them. I mean, he was with them on the ship.
He was licking Howard the Duck's face at the end of Guardians. I remember that post-credit scene. And
so it's almost like Cosmo, in a way, took Rocket's place because supposedly Cosmo is like super smart in the comics. You know, he's like overly intelligent. As you wouldn't think a dog would be so smart or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think that's Roth. No, it's not Florence Pugh. I don't think voicing Black Widow. That'd be funny though. Yeah, I mean, it was a fun. I'm having fun with this series so far. I would probably enjoy it coming to some culmination that everything is going together for them to fight some big baddie or something.
It will. I think.
Yeah, I mean something like that.
Introduce the switched characters in this first I don't know, however many. What do you think? 4 or 5 episodes, maybe, and then
maybe towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I feel like this one felt a little overstuffed with characters to me, like just from different realms. Like, you know, I mean, but then I guess as I started thinking about it, like, you know, I don't know why I just don't put Thanos in the Guardians of the Galaxy world, but it really is. I mean, because he's in all the movies.
Gamora.
So, I didn't love the fact that so here's a you know, okay, I get it. T'Challa's instilled with a bunch of values from his father.
Sure,
but if you take a however old he is, 9-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
And you put him in amongst a bunch of people, he's gonna assume the values of those adults instead of like, oh, we just all became better because of T'Challa.
He's going to be a space pirate.
The whole universe is better. Because he's so noble and great. I'm like, no. I would have liked it better if he had been like more of a rogue, and then all of a sudden he somehow runs into his dad and he remembers everything, and then he starts to. I don't know. Maybe I'm taking this too seriously.
Well, and no, I mean, you're not, because I think I've seen other people make a similar comment. I think it was Rhett at some point made a comment to us, like, why would he still have an African dialect or an African accent after being, you know, entrenched for 30 years with these people in space?
It would definitely lessen, even if he had it. And I don't know. I wasn't paying that hard attention to his accent, but.
Oh, he was it was regular T'Challa through the whole thing. Yeah, he didn't waver. I know that the accent at all.
He told someone, Nate Moore, maybe one of the producers, that he liked the way that they were doing his voice on the show so much that he was going to bring it to the movies. So maybe he was doing something a little different, but I don't know.
These are 2 thumbs up for Jacob.
Okay. Well, we'll put it up here because, you know, I completely agree with the criticism, Earl. That's why I wasn't the biggest fan. Well, you know, I mean, not every episode is going to be everybody's. Like, I'm not really looking forward to the zombie one personally, I mean,
I think it was really silly.
But so are the Guardians.
I did kind of yes, and that's very true actually. I did kind of get a laugh out of Thanos. Thanos, who had been convinced in like 2008, based on the timeline of the episode, that he shouldn't do all this, and then going around to people and then telling them, but it wasn't really such a bad plan.
Right? Yeah. Like he still pines for that plan a little bit, but
that's pretty funny.
I love the fact that, like we mentioned, that like 85% of the actors are coming back to it, because I thought that was probably really fun for Josh Brolin to do that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, to hear his take on what a jovial, happy-go-lucky Thanos would sound like was really cool. I liked that aspect of it. And whoever did Drax did a really good job too. I don't know who did his voice. It was
different, but it was good. Yeah,
it sounded pretty cool. And I'm still loving just the animation style in general is very cool to me. I've seen some people criticize the animation because it's that cell animation kind of like that Resistance used, but it's better to me.
I think it's better looking. Yeah,
it's much better looking than what Resistance was. But
I think it's got a better budget.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's got a better budget for sure. Yeah, no, they won't. So it to me looks better. I know, again, I keep mentioning his name. He's not even here, but Rhett wasn't a huge fan of the animation style. But I'm not sure if Rhett likes anything. So I don't.
Rhett just looks at a cartoon and goes, "I don't like this animation style."
Oh yeah, Fetmatic reminding me of the Children of Thanos appearance.
The Black Order.
Yeah, the Black Order.
I did like that.
Obsidian Cole and
Proxima Midnight.
Yeah.
Crazy that all of those voice actors, same ones, came back too.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was what's her name that voiced Proxima Midnight?
I believe you.
Well, I saw her name.
I remember their names when I was during Infinity War, but
something Coon, Christy Coon.
Yeah, Carrie Coon. Yes. Yeah, it was her. Yeah, it was definitely her. So yeah, I mean, it's that's what I mean. Like, it's so crazy that Batista is saying that he was never he had to have been contacted and just there was a mix up or something. I mean, that had to have been
with such a little part. Maybe his agent's like, no, my client would never do this,
or they were asking for too much money.
Yeah,
I mean, and everybody else was willing to do it at scale or whatever, and he wanted more because he seems like he's that type of guy.
I like the Black Order characters. Like, I like their just sinisterness and just their.
They remind me, like, not to compare Star Wars and MCU, but it's very much like the Knights of Ren. Yes. Like, I want more story with those characters because I think those are
like, I feel like we got more from those in Infinity War than the Knights of Ren in the entire
well, we did, but I just want even more. Well, I remember when
Ebony Maw, was that his name?
Yes, Ebony Maw.
So when they were doing
when they were doing promotion for Infinity War, at one of the cons, they had life-size statues unveiled of the Black Order. And it looked so cool. I mean, those characters were really intriguing looking. It had to have been San Diego Comic-Con or something that they unveiled those statues. And I thought they were going to be such a huge part of Infinity War. And they were. I mean, they were kind of, through Infinity War and Endgame, they were kind of big. But
the main focus was Thanos. But they were pretty big for side villains.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And they had their grunts as well that they used. Kind of Chitauri, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what else did we miss based upon this episode?
There's nothing I have. If you have anything, Earl?
No, I mean, I guess it was interesting to see. At first, I didn't pick up that Nebula was Nebula because of her blonde hair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the fact was that Thanos would have treated her good, right?
Yes. She's less robot. Yeah.
Yeah, she's much. Oh, did they intentionally? Okay, yeah. So I guess she would be less pieced together.
She's more. He stopped doing that.
He stopped experimenting on her, so she was.
Yeah.
That's probably why Nebula loves T'Challa.
Yeah, no, I agree, Roth.
Cha-cha.
I like Jeffrey Wright pretty much in anything, and he is doing a great job, kind of as our narrator, as the Watcher. I mean, his voice is so distinct. Oh yeah, Nebula and Cha-Cha, an item. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it might as well be.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, man, we covered a lot in this hour that we have basically talked on here. Go ahead, Garrison.
Oh, I was going to say the funny thing about Nebula having that kind of wig looking thing, though, I guess, is the fact that Karen Gillan shaved all of her hair for the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and then I think she actually put a bald cap on for the second one.
I think that she's probably not into having to shave her hair every time. So at some point, you've got to, got to go that route with it. But as always, I mean, we definitely will be back next week. Now, next week's going to be fun because we're going to be able to talk about Disney's The Gallery, The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Because that'll be a really so tomorrow. A new episode of The Gallery, The Mandalorian comes out.
Really?
Talking about just the final episode of season 2.
No way. Awesome.
So they're going to do a whole hour of just that one episode.
As it should be.
As it should. Yeah, exactly. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing that, and we will definitely touch on that next week. I'm sure there'll be some cool, interesting reveals about how they filmed all that and how that came together. So I look forward to talking about that. But of course, we'll also talk about What If episode 3, which we know. Oh, go ahead.
What were you going to say?
Which we know involves Black Widow. I didn't see.
It is called The World Lost. What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes? It is 31. It is 31 minutes long. It's been described by the media that we can't trust, apparently, as a murder mystery that takes place during Fury's Big Week, which is in the week that Thor, Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man 2 all take place.
Oh,
really?
Oh, interesting. That
reported by the Daily Bugle, of course.
Exactly.
You can trust.
I'm already looking forward to that. Yeah, I mean, Nick, I'm with you, man. I probably won't stay up till 2 a.m. to watch it, but I will watch it tomorrow first thing and get as much out of it as I possibly can. Because look, when Dave Filoni talks about Star Wars, I am there to listen. And I brought this out of the collection. This is my Dave Filoni signature with his little sketch that he did. And I told Garrison the story.
Cool.
This was at Celebration 5.
I was there
in Orlando.
Yep.
And Dave Filoni was just walking down the aisle to do his panel. This was kind of like before he was the Dave Filoni. This was just Dave Filoni, guy that got to play in the Star Wars universe. And he, I just stopped him. I just stuck this out in his face almost. And I was like, can I have your autograph? And he stopped. And he was like, of course. He did the autograph and then drew the little clone trooper also, awesome, which dude. I love. I really need to have this behind glass. I don't know why I don't have this behind glass. But that, Filoni loves to sketch. I mean, and just the fact that he took the time to do that really quick sketch, was really fun. So yeah, dude, I'm so looking forward to every single word that Dave Filoni says in this episode, because it looks like he's going to be in it a lot. But I really appreciate everybody hanging out in the chat. It was definitely an experiment for us to have all those screenshots for that trailer. And I think it went well. The next big trailer that comes out, we'll try and do that again if it happens to fall on a day that we can talk about a trailer, because, we love TV and movies at the Deucecast, obviously. If you are somehow seeing this episode for the first time and you have not subscribed, please do.
Welcome.
Welcome. And we would love you to subscribe. We'd love for you to share the episode. Obviously comment. All that stuff really helps the random. Roth, you're too kind, friend. The screenshots were perfect. The algorithm that YouTube has, and put the notifications on. Once we get to 100. We get our own actual URL that will be helpful. So we're gonna, because of Roth last week, as he says here, he is subscribed on 5 Google accounts. Hey, I want to normalize that. If you've got a bunch of Google accounts, then you go ahead and log into all your different Google accounts and go ahead and subscribe. So yeah, it was fun, and we will definitely be back next week. Dr. Earl, very much appreciate you. I know your time is, I don't know.
I'm fighting COVID, baby.
You're out in the front. You're on the front lines fighting COVID every day while my lazy
I was like,
butt,
what are you? Are you positive?
No. He's just he is a medical doctor.
Yeah,
he's fighting it for you. I'm a lazy dude on my couch, and you're out there fighting the good fight
I'm a
for
frontline
COVID.
hero. Not really.
So,
that sounds good.
Yeah, it does sound good. Garrison, really appreciate you stopping by. You bring the knowledge that we need on this show, because I do not have the knowledge, so you bring the knowledge. It's very helpful.
In a stupor, mainly.
Sometimes when we get to Star Wars stuff, I'm like,
you got the Marvel knowledge, man.
You've got the Marvel knowledge. So it's awesome, and appreciate you being here. Appreciate everybody in the chat hanging out. It always really does make it a lot more fun for you guys to be in the chat. So really appreciate you taking the time to spend your evening with us here. And we will see you next Wednesday on the Deucecast Extra.